Hello there. So I was writing down all my thoughts about the CP and it was getting really long. I think the script actually ended up being about 7 pages. So this is a two-part video. This first part is everything that I sort of knew going into the EP, and the second part is the actual songs themselves. This part is spoiler-free, the second part isn't. Without further ado, let's get into it. I think a lot of people have over-exaggerated how long and difficult the Hozier hiatus was. To start off with, it wasn't actually 4 years long, because he was on tour until March 2016. And then in June 2016, he released Better Love and did a bunch of interviews to promote that. So technically, he's only been out of the spotlight for maybe 2.5 years, roughly. That's actually pretty normal if you look at other artists' release schedules. 2 years between albums is actually pretty normal. You know, if he was going to release music earlier, he would have had to be writing on tour, and I can imagine traveling, performing is really stressful and there's not a lot of time for creativity. I totally get it. And if anything, Better Love kind of proved that he needed a hiatus. It's not like a bad song by most metrics, but in comparison to his other work, it clearly does not have the same thought and care put into it because it was written in 3 weeks. That thrill, still, chill rhyme at the beginning just sounds kind of clumsy, and the line, "I've never loved a darker blue," seems kind of like it was made to be on a Tumblr aesthetic blog rather than part of a, like, really powerful statement about something. I mean, there are some good lines in there, like the one about being a tree, but overall it's just basic movie trailer pop, you know, big and epic sounding, but without a ton of meaning actually to it. Honestly, I'm pretty disappointed by my fellow Hozier fans' behavior during the hiatus. Not only are people complaining that it was longer than it was, every time Hozier would tweet something, there'd be a bunch of people in the comments going, "Where's the new album?" It's such an entitled mindset, and one that reveals like a level of disrespect for the man and his artistry. I mean, he could just churn out a bunch of songs and work himself to the point of exhaustion, but, you know, me personally, I'd like it better if he was happy and healthy and enjoying his work. You know, that's just me, right? Anyhow, I had faith that he would release music when I needed it. And he delivered. Let me just say, I'm so flattered he named his EP after me. I was totally not expecting it. I didn't know I meant that much to him, and I'm just so honored. Yes, I know it's a reference to Nina Simone, but any other Hozier fans named Nina out there, like, did you also lose your shit when you heard the album title? We should start a Hozier cover band and call it the Ninas Who Cried Power. Hit me up. When I first heard Centerman, I didn't actually think of it as political, but after hearing Hozier talk about how apocalyptic imagery inspired a lot of his work, I think I get it. Nina Simone's apocalypse, Hozier's apocalypse, they're cleansing kind of destruction that rids the world of injustice and of these bad people. It's a chance to tear down the old and build up the new. God damn. So on my script that I've been looking at, I just have a list of stuff that I knew going in, which was that I googled what a shrike was, and it's kind of bird. So that explained what that was. I have a prediction for what NFWMB stands for, because I know that it's explicit, so I have a guess about what that F is. My guess here is nobody fucks with my baby. Oh, okay. And the album cover. Oh yeah, where he's screaming underwater. He hasn't really provided any more explanation for it besides It was apparently from like the cover photo shoots for his first album, because they took a bunch of photos and that's what his mom used to make the album cover. But they didn't use it, so that it was used for this. So I think maybe the connection is that there's, you know, sort of this theme of running to the river in Cinnamon. And the river is boiling, and that's, you know, a sign of the turmoil in the world. And so, you know, crying out in the middle of the boiling water, I think I know where he's coming from there. That actually concludes part one, much shorter than part two, let's just say. So check out the next part.